I reckon I was born in the wrong era. This era that we are living in, you guys, it's not for me. It's not the one that I was supposed to be born into, because this era that we're living in, we really celebrate vulnerability. Yuck. I don't like it. I don't know. I mean, we really celebrate. You go onto social media, you scroll through, you just constantly accosted by these influencers who are just crying. Just like talking about their journey with IBS. What? And there were so many followers. People love it. They just keep following all these comments. You read the comments like hashtag brave. Hashtag I've got diarrhea too. I'm like, this is gross. What are you doing? I don't understand. I thought it was a secret. I blame Brené Brown. Brené Brown. Give me a cheer if you know Brené Brown. I mean, not personally, but we know, those who don't know, Brené Brown, she's like a motivational speaker. She became famous, I don't know, about 5-10 years ago. When you look at her, if you just saw a picture of her, it's troubling, you know. If you just looked at her, you'd be like, oh, that doesn't look right, because she looks like she's like a boomer with a Karen haircut. And she's like from the southern states of America, and she's quite religious, and she says things like neat, you know, like on paper she looks like the poster girl for All Lives Matter, but she's not. She's actually really great. Like, she says a lot of things that I love, and she's probably changed my life in some ways, but she says one thing that I hate is vulnerability is courage. What? Excuse me, I don't know, because I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. In the 80s and the 90s, we didn't see vulnerability as strength. We saw Stoicism as strength. So that makes sense to me. If you thought, we grew up thinking that the strongest person in the world was the Chico Roll poster lady. Oh, Chico Roll poster, like that was strength. Like, if you cannot remember the Chico Roll poster lady, holy shit, she was in every single fish and chip shop on the wall. I think it was law. Every single one had to have it. Made sense. I loved her. She was like this blonde, buxom woman who was wearing like head to toe in red leather, like a jumpsuit. She didn't even zip it up. She couldn't give a fuck. She just, like, her boobs are spilling out, just straddling a Harley Davidson, and she was holding a Chico Roll next to her hip, nowhere near her mouth. She was not going to eat it. Yuck. And we respected her for it, you know? She didn't care. She was looking straight down the barrel of the camera. She wasn't crying. She wasn't even smiling. She couldn't give a shit whether you bought it or not, which is ironic because that's exactly what Chico Rolls give you. It was incredible. I remember being about 7 years old in the fish and chip shop in Canberra. There's only one, and I was just looking up at this poster and being like, "Wow, that is strength. That is strength." You know, I reckon she'd be fine if her car door fell off. So as you can see, I'm struggling a little bit trying to transition into this new chapter where we're all like, yes, vulnerability is amazing, which I don't believe. I don't think we actually want to see it. Because if I came out on the stage tonight and all you guys were like, yes, Saturday night, it's going to be really great. If I came out and I was like, hey, I'm feeling a bit nervous. I miss my dad. Sorry, I'll start again. You'd be like, this is the worst show I've ever seen. It's going to be the longest fucking hour of our life. And it would be. It would be the worst. So I wouldn't do that to you. We don't actually want to see it. Think about it. I reckon showing vulnerability is quite selfish. Think about it. If you were just walking along and then you hear a busker, you're all like, fuck, where is he? Oh. Shit, where is he? Oh, God. Don't fucking look at him. And you look up, and then you accidentally make eye contact with a bloke with a tie-dye T-shirt on, with two different colour Crocs on, just with a ukulele, just strumming away, just butchering Wonderwall. And you know he's thinking maybe she's going to be the one that saves me. But I'm not going to save you. But when you make eye contact with someone and they're being vulnerable, you have to be very sensitive. So you have to be like, fuck, what do I dance? You know? Or do I look for money I'm not going to give him? You know? Or do I just gently, kindly, ever so gently, just tell him to grow up and get a fucking job, you know? It's very hard to know what to do there. Another example of vulnerability being selfish is when your mate has a very, very painful breakup and you go over to help them and then they just ugly cry for ages. And you have to just sit across from them like this. You finished? No, okay. And at the end, she feels great. She's got this post-cry high. She's like, yes, I think I'm going to get over him. Thank you so much. Great for her. You just now know what it looks like when your friend's snot goes into her mouth. Selfish. The best example I have of vulnerability being selfish is years ago my older sister asked me to be in the birthing suite when she had her first baby. She's had heaps since, massive slut, but her first baby. So she, and some of you might be like, what? I thought your family hated vulnerability. We do. She'd never had a baby before. I'd never seen one be born before. Neither of us knew it was going to be a vulnerable situation. We've never spoken about it since. Anyway, she was in the labour birthing suite. I walked in and I stood in the wrong part of the room. And something happens when you're staring directly into the matrix. Is you lose the ability to move. So I stood in the wrong part of the room for the entire vulnerable situation. And my sister was so vulnerable. She made vulnerable sounds. She made vulnerable smells. At the end of this very vulnerable time, she got to leave that birthing suite holding a baby that she was going to love for the rest of her life. And I got to leave that same birthing suite with the ability to sketch my sister's asshole. Brené brown-eyed me the whole way through that.